You're listening to Convenience Matters, brought to you by the National Association of Convenience Stores.
Welcome to Convenience Matters. I'm Jeff Leonard with the National Association of Convenience Stores, and I'm joined by my co-host.
I'm John Eichberger with the Fuels Institute and NACS, and on Convenience Matters, we talk about things that fuel you, your body, your car, and everything else in between, 24/7 at your local convenience store.
And when we talk about Convenience Matters, the phrase, it's the things that are about convenience stores and matter to convenience stores, but they also matter to consumers because half of the U.S. population comes to a convenience store every day. So let's have a conversation about things that involve you. And today we're joined by Larry Jackson, who's with Good To Go Markets in Maryland. And he's also somebody that's reinventing his business by starting a new business along with what he already has on his plate. So welcome, Larry.
Thank you for having me.
Now, first off, Good To Go is one of the coolest names in the business.
Let me tell you how jealous Jeff is that you came up with it first, because he would really love to market it.
Yeah, NACS has Ideas to Go, number 2, Good To Go fits all those things that are about our business. We're about speed of service, and the good is both our offer, our people, what we mean in the community. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm sure you've seen that as a small operator, mm-hmm. that especially the community element.
Absolutely. I mean, you pretty much just summed up exactly why I chose the name. I mean, the idea was to put together something that was, gave that impression of fast and good. And, we actually thought of it along the fresh food side of things because we wanted to eventually take it to the fresh food and on-site produced stuff, not just all the things we have in their store now.
So how has the on-site produced food gone for you guys?
Well, we have taken it on a lot of different scales, and some of the iterations we've done have been very successful. We did a sandwich program at an off-site location that we had that was in a park for the county, and we did high-end sandwiches, salmon and fresh roast beef and things like that, and they really did well. The public really liked them. They were very hard to produce. We didn't have enough scale to keep it up for that forever, but we learned a lot about the taste that people have, and they're willing to pay money for food that's really good. And so we think that that's a good place for us to go eventually.
Yeah.
Which led to a new business opportunity.
It did indeed. Yep. So the one site that we have does not have a very big footprint. So our store is only 700 square feet. And it did not give us the ability to offer that kind of fresh food inside the store. And so we came up with the idea of starting a food truck and using that on the site and off the site to promote, the site, but also to create a sense of enthusiasm for our business that does not revolve around the cost of gas.
So Jeff's much more involved in evaluating the food truck element of the industry than I have. Explain for me and our audience, is a food truck... You just park it at your store, or how are you leveraging the food truck for your business growth?
And what's it look like?
Yeah.
What does the food
how do you describe describe it on a podcast for us?
Yeah. Well, it looks. It looks
it's
like
got
that.
4 wheels. Yeah.
4 wheels, an engine of.
It's got a steering wheel.
The reason I ask is the traditional food truck is often a reconverted mail truck. Mm-hmm. As the internet took away mail service, it led to food trucks. They had to do something with these mail trucks.
Right.
But in other places like Portland, they're more like food carts.
Okay.
Where they are being pulled by something.
Right.
So I guess there are a couple different ways.
Yeah, I've seen people turn just about anything into a food truck. I mean, horse trailers and... Well, I saw a tanker turned into a food truck, which was pretty amazing. The sides opened up and you stepped up into it, and so it was more like a big barbecue tanker.
That's cool.
Mine is a converted bread truck, and it's 26 feet long, and it's got a great big black and red bull on the side of it, and we do barbecue, Baltimore's version of barbecue, which is pit beef. We try to keep the menu very simple. We want to be able to turn out. We want to stick with what we've always done in our convenience stores, which is fast, fresh service. And we mostly gear it towards events. So we're not the kind of truck that just sets up and waits for hours and hours and hours. We try to create a sense of enthusiasm about the moment. We work a lot with local breweries and farmers markets and schools to go out and be in the community. And then we bring it back to the store. So when we post online that the truck is going to be there, people already know what the truck is and what we're going to offer, and they're familiar with our menu. And the menu's simple enough that we don't have to constantly put it out there because they know it's only a couple of items. So
do you run like a bells like on an ice cream truck so the kids come out and chase you down the street?
We have toyed with the idea of having more cowbell. I mean, everybody needs a little more cowbell. And I think I do need. I have my neighbors actually want me to just take the thing out in the summertime and drive around the neighborhood and have pit beef night and literally do the ice cream truck of the neighborhood.
Absolutely,
so, yeah. I already deliver food to their house anyway. I might as well take it in the truck and drive around. So,
well, it's interesting. You got into the two areas that have traditionally not been thought of as having great food, but that was maybe 10, 20 years ago, and now there are TV shows dedicated to great food at places, whether it's food trucks or gas stations.
Yep.
And it used to be Roach Coaches and Clark Griswold making fun of the sandwich at the gas station.
I'm so hungry I could eat a sandwich made at a gas station.
Yeah, not our best hour.
But but so now people seek it out. And do you get, whether it's social media or other places that just say, you got to check this place out now?
I think we're still trying to conquer that in our area. We're in Columbia, Maryland, and it's a very nice suburb, and we still have those people who question, food in a gas station. We've run Subways, and we've had a Vita France bakery in our locations, and even though we were serving a higher end food with the Vita France bakery, we had all our own menu items that we made fresh on site. It took a long time to get people to trust that the food we were selling was good. I mean, and now we still have people asking us, when are you bringing back that chicken salad we used to make?
But they seem to trust food trucks almost immediately.
Yeah. No,
I don't get it.
No, I don't either. Well, and then there's some people out there who run really great food trucks, and there's some people out there who sell really great food in trucks you probably shouldn't be eating out of. But that's a different story.
But the food truck phenomenon has taken off. I mean, I'm a fan of the local professional soccer team here. They do food truck nights before the game. So they'll have, I don't know how many food trucks show up in the parking lot, and you basically pregame at food trucks.
Yep. There's a rally that they do on a rotating basis in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And they just bring in a whole bunch of trucks, and they have a band usually, and it's called The Gathering. They just, and you just go and try all the food trucks, and that's the only reason people go to it, So the food truck is the destination.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed is a lot of these trucks have some pretty clever names.
Yeah.
And I forgot to ask, what's the name of your truck?
It's, we're Bullhead Pit Beef. And, it's not the flashiest name, but we were just looking for something that was a little out of the ordinary.
No double entendres, triple puns, stuff like that. Kind of what it is, and we'll move it out.
Yeah, I think that there are some out there that are, pig related and stuff like that I'm not going to
so you
comment on.
You mentioned on your website you will post when the food trucks are going to be back at your store.
Right.
Do you have set times of that, or are you finding that your followers are actually looking to see when you're going to be there because it's not always a set schedule?
Well, so far because it's an event-based truck, I can't pick and choose when I'm asked to be someplace. And so I was trying to set a regular schedule and be there, but I was just disappointing people because I would end up inevitably being called to another site, and so it's been more random. But people do post. We mostly use social media. I do have I do have my web page, but it literally just says "Go see us on social media" because it's just easier, and that's more. People are used to going there and seeing what's going on.
It's kind of like Celebrity Spotter.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw Bullhead Pit Beef on such and such street. Get over there.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, the whole phenomenon of or the connection, I guess, between gas stations and convenience stores is pretty cool because visited a number of places where there were food trucks that said, look, it's a grind. You got to get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
You got to prep. You got to find the right spot to be. If you're in downtown D.C., you better have that right parking spot. You better be one step ahead of the parking ticket.
Yep.
And if it rains, the day's probably a wash.
Yep.
And then you start all over again. And it's a grind. So there were some food trucks that have located into gas stations in the D.C. area.
Yeah.
You get the consistent traffic of coming into a gas station, the 800 people a day, because a lot of reason that restaurants fail is they budget all their money for the opening, and the only time somebody comes inside their store is when they've already committed to eat.
Yeah.
And then the other part of that is convenience stores making them more convenient by going out.
Right.
So there are two interesting dynamics at play. First off, how do you look at the one where who gets up early and figures out where to be so you're maximizing the product?
Well, I think that's why we're more an event-based truck. So we know when we show up, there's going to be 100, 400 people. So we're gearing it towards that capacity. It does take a lot of prep time. You can't do this job just because you think you're going to make a ton of money, because there's a huge amount of work that goes into it. And I have to say, I've worked harder doing this than I had when I had 60 employees and was running the gas stations all the time. This is something that I do because I really enjoy it. You sweat. That truck is hot, and in the wintertime it's cold, and you're dealing with a lot of things that you don't deal with if you're inside a very fixed site. So, our approach is a little different, I think. We're not gearing towards just sitting there and waiting for people to show up. And that gamble is something that's hard to do, where you think, okay, there's going to be 300 people today and only, 50 show up. You're stuck with it all. It goes bad fast.
Okay, so the food truck is exciting, and you're obviously very passionate about it, but you still have a convenience store.
We do, yeah.
So what's going on in the store that gets you excited as well?
Well, I think the trend towards more fresh food is where we should be going. I think that, like I said, people are willing to pay for really good food inside a C-store. But I think we're still working on getting people to trust that that's what it is. I think, you have to look at all the things that are being sold in the stores. There are areas where cigarettes are still a huge driver, but there are some places where it's less and less of a draw. Mm-hmm. And you have to, look at that market and say, what's the next thing? And, I think food is the next thing. It's something that when the gas price goes up and down, people always ditch your location if you're a penny off. But if your food is good, they will pay $7 more because they want it. It's got a great margin. It's got a draw. People are passionate about it. I mean, like you were saying, people following the trucks around. I watch people walk into stores in our area or restaurants in our area, and I look at the prices that they're paying for the stuff. And I wish I had more stuff in my store that was like that.
The contrast is, when you talk about the price sensitivity of gas, is nobody wants to buy gas.
Nobody wants to buy gas.
They hate it.
Yeah.
They hate the experience. They don't want to do it. It doesn't give them any joy, any satisfaction.
No.
Because they divorce it from mobility.
No.
They don't connect the two.
Right.
But when you're buying a sandwich you like,
right,
it tastes pretty good. I don't really care how much it costs.
Right.
So it is definitely a less price-sensitive market.
And also, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say that our attitude has become, we want people to come to the site for the food, and while they're there, they happen to pick up some gas.
Right.
I mean, we want to flip it on its head completely. Mm-hmm. And, the food truck is our first way to do that, but eventually it will be in our stores as well. It will become part of the main foundation of the stores, and that's the Good To Go name. That's really what it's all about.
And the other part of the equation is we talked about fresh, but that's not the only items in the store that are necessarily healthy. There are packaged items that also can fit the lifestyle, and that's also your lifestyle. You're very much into fitness.
I am.
When you do you look at your store differently because of how you see fitness?
I do. I have to say that there's not a whole lot of stuff in my store as I eat now, and that's just not what I put in my body. And I've realized that, there are a lot of people out there who are niche food eaters who are very dedicated to people who satisfy that need. If you're on a clean eating diet or a paleo diet or a gluten-free diet, if you can hit those targets in the right market, you will get a very loyal following. And those are very simple menus. Paleo diet is all... it's a very short list of things that you add to things when you make the food, and that's another thing that I've started to do is work at CrossFit competitions, because first of all, it's protein, it's sweet potatoes, it's vegetables, and it's very simple to cook, and people are loyal to it.
I think Jeff and I have talked about this a lot, and I think you just nailed it. Adding special products for the health-conscious consumer is not abandoning your core customer. It's expanding your customer base.
It is.
To potentially higher margin items.
Right.
Because if you're looking for healthy items, you're not price shopping. Mm-hmm. You're taste shopping, you're quality shopping.
Right.
But you're not as price sensitive. And so if we can start expanding that portfolio of products and services we offer throughout the industry, all we're doing is growing our customer base, and that's good for everybody.
Those people are on the run too, A CrossFitter has to eat, and they have to eat a lot. They eat frequently, and you can't get that stuff anywhere. So if you can get that stuff in your store, and those people know it's there, they'll be there every day.
Yep.
And that's the key thing, making them know it's in your store. And that's
Yeah.
something that we're going to work on with various researchers to help retailers just communicate that story. We have healthy items if you're interested.
So, well, Larry, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate you stopping by, telling us what's going on with food truck and what
Thanks
you're thinking
very
about in the food service for the industry. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And this has been Convenience Matters. Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Convenience Matters, brought to you by NACS. For more information about the National Association of Convenience Stores, go to nacsonline.com.